Switching out into a 2-shielded shark, and it is the Unova Pancake in the back of Waterfall, absolutely tearing through it. We Waterfall all the way down, back out comes Skarmory. We are going for the Poison Fang. The opponent shields it up, we make the crunch, we go for a very risky bait. The opponent shits their pants, they shield it up, and it is all down to Beedrill. Drillrun is single resisted, but is Drillrun going to be enough to knock out? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. So, welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. Today we have a treat for you all. I was watching fellow content creator and highly skilled battler Inadaquamce. He uploaded this team. Shout out to Inadaquamce. A link to that video is going to be in the description down below. However, the team isn't actually from Inadaquamce. He was shoutcasting some battlers by another highly talented battler called the Zweilous. A link to his Twitter is down below. He hit 3,500 last season, so you already know that he is the shit at this game. The team he is using is a really fun core of Beedrill and Sharpedo. Obviously, these two do cover each other fairly well. Beedrill doesn't want to see rock types or psychic types, and the Shark does do fairly well against both, resisting psychic and hitting rock for super effective. Obviously, Shark doesn't want to see counter grass or fairy, and Beedrill resists them all. So the team is pretty clever. However, let's not kid ourselves, it is made of absolute paper. Round the team off, we've got Lapras, who is an ABB team with double weak to counter in the back. I've never used Sharpedo, but I thought, fuck it, let's give it a try. Getting into the battles. We've lost switch advantage, but we see this as opportunities come in with the Shark and get ahead on energy. They've got a counter user. In the back we go for the Poison Fang. The opponent commits their first shield, and it looks like Beedrill with 2 shields should be able to sweep this back line. The opponent fires off a body slam. The 2 counters away from the next charge move. They come in to a zoom roll. We go straight for the Drill Run. Drill Run goes unshielded at this stage now. We can safely shield up the Ice Beam, commit to the Poison Jab, farm down. As long as we leave with the back-to-back charge moves, this should be game over. Beedrill does farm down, back out. Comes the Vigoroth, we go for the X-Scissor. X-Scissor draws a shield from the opponent. We've got the Drill Run locked and loaded, and Beedrill is going to close out game 1. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle. We see another fairy in the lead. Beedrill about to absolutely feast. Poison Jab tearing through the stupid A9. The opponent is staying in, so we are going to fire off the Drill Run. Drill Run draws a shield from the opponent. We look to catch the move on our Lapras. The opponent quickly switches out into Sableye. Lapras doesn't have a bad matchup here. Ice Shard and Surf does hit for neutral. The opponent is now down all shields. We are going to shield once. We shield up the foul play. We are going to look to get off one Surf and put it into a range where we can Waterfall, farm them down, and fire off a Poison Fang, because Sharpedo countering a fairy would be the funniest thing I have seen in a long time. We allow the next charge move to go through. Lapras does commit to the Ice Shard farm down, so unfortunately Shark isn't going to KO a fairy. Well, it might do because they've got Swampert in the back. Surf gets it into the yellow. We aggressively switch in the Shark. They reach the Hydro Cannon. We are absolutely going to have to shield this up, even though it is resisted. It does near one shot. We Waterfall all the way down. Back out comes the fairy. But guess what, Mr. Opponent? This is resisted. Shark, even though it's super squishy, tanks it on the chin. And we get that dream moment of Sharpedo countering a fairy. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see the Penguin in the lead. Absolutely dreadful. It beats all 3 of our Pokemon. We switch out into Lapras, and it is yet again a fairy type. In the middle, we are going to go straight for the Skull Bash. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They make one charge move. This is just going to be a weatherball. Lapras double resist ice. We tank it on the chin. We commit to the Ice Shard farm down. Back out comes the Penguin. We are going to fire off one more Surf. Surf is resisted, but Lapras draws a shield. We're now going to come in with the Shark. We are going to have to double shield, but you already know it's going to be Mandibuzz in the back. If you're wondering how I know that, Zyonic did post this team, and all the copycats love to run it. We shield the first Hydro Cannon or Drill Peck. We're going to shield the second. I imagine they are going to bring in Mandibuzz here. I'm looking to throw on 3. The opponent will sneak. On the 4th, they reach a move, so I'm going to look to be smart and catch it on Beedrill. However, the opponent is far too smart for me, but either way, we are going to CMP to the second move. We are going to tank the first X-Scissor, hits for neutral. I hit the X-Scissor, but for some reason the game makes me throw a fast move. You absolutely hate to see it. Beedrill should win CMP, but either way, we've still got a win con. We throw one waterfall and the Poison Fang doesn't KO. We waterfall down. We need to survive 2 waterfalls and get to the Poison Fang. Unfortunately, the second waterfall takes us out and we lose a heartbreaking game. GG's to the opponent. Moving on to the next battle, we see a dreadful lead. The Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death would be hitting Beedrill for super effective. We immediately safe switch into Lapras. We get off the Surf. Surf draws a shield from the opponent. The opponent builds up to 4 Incinerates. I absolutely am calling the bait, and bait is what they do. That is going to cost them. We are going to be able to get to Surf number 2 unless the opponent throws their energy and the opponent decides they don't want that. They throw their energy. They don't want to go down 2 shields. We are now going to wait out our timer and it is time for the Shark. The opponent stays in. We waterfall all the way down. The opponent now comes in with a Trevenant. We build up to the Poison Fang. The opponent makes a great catch, catching it on Swampert, but that isn't as great as they would hope. They make the Hydro Cannon. We are going to shield this up. We are going to be able to waterfall all the way down, and Shark is absolutely feasting. The opponent decides they've seen enough and they don't let us destroy Trevenant. That is really unfortunate. Moving on to the next battle, we pick up another dreadful lead. The Galarian Stunfisk in the lead. We switch out into Lapras. The opponent attempts to catch a Surf onto their Azumarill. We are not falling for that. We go straight for the Skull Bash. Skull Bash hits for big neutral damage. It also raises our defense, so this Azumarill firing off poliwrath isn't going to do as much damage as it would normally. That does absolutely nothing. Lapras makes Skull Bash number 2. This is either going to flip switch or draw a shield from the opponent. The opponent does shield it up. They are going to fire off one more poliwrath, but Lapras, now double boosted, isn't going to get KO'd. Poliwrath does not KO. We are looking to get off one more Surf. I'm really hoping this Surf does knock out. If it doesn't, I am going to look to catch the charge move on our Beedrill, which we do successfully. This is just an Ice Beam. This is now going to draw back out the Galarian Stunfisk, and the Shark is going to get a nice farm. The opponent comes in to the G-Fisk. Our trap has worked absolutely beautifully. The opponent is switch locked. We come in with the Shark. Shark absolutely tearing through the opponent. We are going to shield up absolutely everything. The opponent goes for a really strange Earthquake Sharpedo. Not the bulkiest. That is a huge waste of energy, and it is Trevenant. In the back, we are going straight for the Poison Fang. Poison Fang draws a shield from the opponent. We make the Crunch. We are going to shield up here. We've hit the Crunch. Crunch is going to absolutely return Trevenant to its Pokeball. That is going to be a good game. GG's, Mr. Opponent. Thanks for playing. So you can see there, I aggressively switched in the mid-game, knowing the opponent would bring back out G-Fisk, allowing us to farm down. Heading in to the next battle, we pick up a lead against Dragonite. Absolutely dreadful. We actually catch the charge move. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count. However, we did catch the charge move on our only dragon counter. They now come in to Lantern, so as if things weren't bad, they're now even worse. We call the bait. The opponent, far too smart. They are not baiting. We are in a really, really rough spot. The opponent did overfarm as well. We are going to have to respect the Surf. We are going to commit our first shield. We're going to look to overfarm, get him into a range where Drill Run will knock out. We're almost at 100 energy. I'll go straight for the Drill Run. Drill Run KOs. The opponent has a camera up in the back. We switch out into Sharpedo. 2 waterfalls, near knockout. We make the Poison Fang. Poison Fang will be drawing a shield from the opponent and lowering their defense. Now it's all going to be down to Beedrill. Can we Poison Jab down? Yes, we can. 2 Poison Jabs, takes out camera up, and somehow we pick up an absolutely miracle victory. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Beedrill into Trevenant, pretty neutral lead. Near enough every Trevenant loves to bait me. We are now going to call the bait because this strange play from the opponent, they actually throw as soon as they get the Seed Bomb, Mr. Opponent, at least build up to the charge move. They now switch out into a Fairy Wind Marwile. We are going to bring in Lapras because Lapras probably has the worst matchup against Trevenant. Sharpedo, Waterfall hits for resisted, but Trevenant doesn't look like it resists it. The opponent throws the Power Up Punch. that absolutely isn't drawing our shield. I imagine this is whatever secondary move they have, they go for the poliwrath. We've got shield advantage, and you know shield advantage, Sharpedo is absolutely lethal. We come in with Beedrill, we overfarm, we're going straight for the drill run. Drill run will either knock out or draw the final shield. The opponent lets it go, and it is Swampert in the back. We come in to the Shark. Shark up shields, is tearing through this Swampert. We are going to shield up absolutely anything. The opponent goes for the Hydro Cannon, they bring out the Trevenant. We're going straight for the Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. We now farm down before they make another charge move. Back out comes Swampert. We can shield this up, and it is going to be a waterfall finish. We've committed our final shield, waterfall, far too oppressive, and the opponent concedes the match. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see a Charmaine in the lead. You absolutely love to see it. The opponent switches out into Umbreon. I am going to fire off 1x Scissor and look to catch the charge move on Sharpedo. Yes, that is a play you can do. Catch a charge move on the wild squishiest Pokemon. The opponent doesn't throw. They hold their energy, they still fire off the foul play, and holy smokes, that does a lot of damage. I am going to commit a shield here and look to waterfall all the way down, because you know that A9 is going to be fearful of the Poison Fang. We leave this matchup absolutely loaded. Back out comes the Fairy. I'm going straight for the Poison Fang. Poison Fang hits for super effective. The opponent commits a shield, 2 charms, absolutely delete a spot. We're still sitting in a pretty good spot. We can now come in with Beedrill. We win CMP as we bank the drill run. Drill run draws a shield from the opponent. If they're shielding, fuck it, I'm going to match shields. They must be weak to Beedrill. In the back, Weather Ball draws our final shield, and it is Metachan. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the Ice Punch on our Lapras, and that, my friend, is double resisted. Despite Lapras getting hit for super effective, we are going to outpace to the Surf. The opponent is going to have to go for a Psychic to take us out. Surf gets Metachan super low. They're looking to counter down. The opponents realise they can't do it. They have got a slight bit of residual energy, but I am counting. We commit to the Poison Jab, farm down. We leave with the Drill Run, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Politoed in the lead. Pretty neutral-ish matchup. I am going to look to catch the Weather Ball on our Lapras, and we are successful. The opponent fires off the Weather Ball, and Lapras, far too bulky, tanks it on the chin. The opponent is going to have to go for an Earthquake. They are staying in. They must be weak to Lapras in the back, but with that in mind, if they're weak to Lapras, they might be weak to the Shark as well. I look to go for the Skull Bash. The opponent fires off the energy immediately, and Lapras has been sacrificed for the greater good. Politoed is now energy dry, so I'm going to come back in with the Beedrill. I'm going to count to 4 and fire off the Drill Run. Once again, the opponent does CMP tie. Let's see if they want to commit a shield here. They do not. Down goes Politoed, and it is Skarmory in the back. We aggressively switch in Sharpedo. They switch out into Unova Pancake, and you know the Shark is going to absolutely feast. We shield up the discharge. We commit to the Waterfall, farm down. We are now absolutely loaded. Back out comes Skarmory. We're going for a risky bait. Poison Fang draws a shield from the opponent. We build up to the Crunch. We fire off one more bait. I imagine the opponent is going to shield, knowing that we can only hit 4 resisted with Beedrill, but Beedrill super attack weighted. They're now 2-stage debuffed. We get to the single resisted Drill Run, and Drill Run is enough to take that game. GG's and thanks for playing. So those were the battles with the team that the Zweilous come up with. You can see that the team is pretty hard to run, but the core does make sense. Beedrill and Sharpedo do cover each other really well. Like I said, link to his Twitter and link to Inadaquamce's video where I saw this team originally is going to be in the description down below. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.